everyone to my very first episode of Betty's World, where I make different scenes, and today I'm going to be making the scene of a food carnival or a food fair. So each episode I'm either going to be using my Sylvanian or my Lego. Today I'm going to be using my Sylvanian, and I've laid down some sand as like a pathway to get through all the stations, get to all the stations, and I've got my dolls here, and they're going to be either selling stuff or buying stuff. So I've got 6 different things, 7, sorry, and that we're going to be setting up here today. So let's get started. So I think I'll start with the barbecue first. So this is the barbecue that's in the Sylvanian, and I'm going to be setting it up. Oops, sorry, Grandma. Over here. So I've got this little chair that's from the ice cream shop that I'm going to be setting it up like this because I want to put some stuff here. So the stuff that I'm going to be putting there are these things. So I think they're meat and buns. So them there, and then we've got a whole bunch of kebabs and skewers and buns, and there's also a fish. So I'm gonna start putting the stuff here, and you know when you actually see kebabs like this in real life, the sticks are always actually burnt, and that annoys me. But they don't have them burnt in this one. This one, they're not burnt, so I appreciate that detail. So this is the fish. I just find it really funny that there's a fish on the barbecue. So got all the kebabs there, and then I'll just put the utensils, and now I've got to find my barbecue person. So it can't be the grandpa or the grandma, maybe not the mum. So maybe the elephant? So whoops, I almost dropped it on there. So she's gonna be standing there, and there's an Esther hair there. She's gonna be standing there and cooking the barbecue. Working the barbecue, whatever you wanna call it. I'll just add a plate there, and then that's our barbecue done. Okay, so now I'm going to set up the pizza. So I've got table here. Of course, we need the pizzas for the pizza setup. You can't have a pizza setup without actual pizzas. That's just crazy. Okay. So I've got these little things, you know, that you use to serve the pizzas on, and then I've got some pizzas because, like I just said, you can't have pizza stand without pizzas. So got those on there, and then we've also got a pizza cutter and another thing that doesn't come with the pizza set, but I'm just gonna put it there because some people don't like to pick up the pizza when other people have maybe touched that pizza. So I'll put that next to the barbecue, but not too close, because the elephant, I've called her Betty after me, needs to get through, so maybe I'll just move that a bit more. Okay, that's the pizza setup done. Wow, friends, this is going really fast. So I'm gonna set up the bread now. But before I do that, I'm gonna show you what earrings I'm wearing today. So I love my earrings. I'm very quirky, and today I've got donuts. Hope you like them. Give this video a thumbs up if you like my earrings. Okay, so now let's set up the bread. So this bread thing has got shells on the front, and then it's also got compartments at the back. So I'm gonna use both of them, both of those things. And we've got, it's gonna be bread and coffee, or hot chocolates. So the bread might be the second biggest setup that I'm doing today. I've got tons of stuff for it, and I'm gonna go with that. And I love bread. Okay, I love bread. I just said that, but I need to make myself very clear. If you know me in person and you're wondering what to get for my birthday, bread. Okay, so this is everything that we're using for the bread setup. It's actually a lot, but once we've got it all on here, it's not gonna look like that much. So first I've got this little basket and 3 sizes of baguette. So that's the tallest one, that's the medium one, and that's the shortest one. So got that, that's gonna go in front. And then on the shelves, I'm just gonna put some bread. So they've got a house, a croissant, a cat. What else have we got? Is that a mouse? I think that's supposed to be a mouse. And we've got a bear, and then just some pastries. So lots of this Sylvanian is really old because I've had Sylvanian since I was like younger than 5 years old. And this is the old croissant. Why is it not going in focus? And this is the new croissant. There we go. So let's keep going. And now I'm gonna work on the back, where I'm gonna keep, oh yeah, that's right here, 2 plates at the bottom, and a little bowl. It's so tiny and cute. Okay, so, and now for the rest of them, we're just gonna put, oops, bread. If somebody asked me what my words were, it'd probably be joy and bread, or food. That's how much I love bread. Okay, so we've got a panda here. We've got a little platted piece of bread. That's pretty cool. Okay, so maybe I'll switch this one because it's pretty long and it won't fit there. So I'll switch that one for the panda. I mean, the bear. And we'll just keep going. The reason I'm not putting one here is because that's where we're gonna put that's where we're gonna put the coffee setup. Okay, so we're done with the back. Now let's go back to the front. So these are kind of like coffee cakes. So this one's a cat. You might not be able to tell. Oh well. And then there's cups, and you can put them inside, and you can either have it as coffee or just cake. This time I'm gonna make it coffee. So we've got that one, and then we've got an original barista, and we'll just put them there. And then we've got the coffee pot. This is so cute. Love it. Okay. I might need to adjust these a bit so I can fit the coffee pod thing. Okay, and then we've got the bread picker. Don't know if that's a word. And then we've got these. So I think I'll add that in the corner. Whoops. Okay. Just need to add that in. And I'm gonna have it on an angle and have that there as well. So I'm gonna add somebody to be the bread person, and I think I'll add that person who's actually the stylist, but I think she looks pretty good there. Okay, so now I think we'll set up the food corner. So it's the grocery store thing. Okay, and we've got some stuff that you might find at a grocery store that's already been like packaged and stuff, but like washed. That's what I meant, not packaged. So we've got this, and then we've also got the mini farmers market, which has also got groceries, but that's straight from the farm. So that's the difference. I'm still getting this stuff. Okay. And oh no, there's a plate. Okay, there. Oh my gosh, I lost it. Okay, so that's the stuff that we're gonna be using, and so I'm gonna put some cabbage in there. So like baby cabbage. No, just cabbage and cauliflower. And then we've also got a cake, and then a plate that's gonna hold some berries, and then we've got just some eggs and the rest of the loose stuff. So I'm gonna put the cake inside of here, and whoops, berries are on the run. They don't want to be eaten. I wouldn't blame them. If I were a berry, then I wouldn't want to be eaten either. So, okay, and then I'm gonna have this on the side, and on the top I'm gonna add some eggs. Okay, I'm just gonna turn this. Just wait. I need to see it for this bit. Keeps falling. I might. Now they're doing somersaults. Okay, there we go. So, please don't fall eggs. Okay, so now I'm just gonna set up some veggies in there. So, got some mushrooms and tomatoes. And then we've got some peeled cauliflower. It's actually popcorn, but I'm just gonna call it peeled cauliflower. And we've got, what else? Carrots. And then the next one we've got capsicums or peppers, depending on where you're from. Oh, turning. Doesn't want to be shown to the world. And then I'll put the cabbages, different cabbages there. And then it's the fruit section. So we've got some bananas and tons of apples and oranges. So put those there. That's a tomato. That needs to go with the other tomatoes. Don't mix up a tomato with an apple, friends. It's gonna give you a big shock. Okay, so that is that's the grocer. It does look a bit empty in the top shelf, so I don't know, maybe we'll find some stuff that we can put there later. Okay, so consider it unfinished. Okay, so the grocer and the pizza is going to be self-serve, but the bread, the barbecue, and the ice cream, they're gonna all have animals as, you know. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you some really cute pictures of my dog Esther. We've actually got a video and on my channel of when we got her, and this is the day that we got her. We were still at the store. And then we've got a few other photos. And she's so tiny. She's so big now. But these are just to cheer you up and lighten up your day. I love that one. And she was so tiny then. That box was like the smallest box that we had in our entire house. So now she's so big, but okay, let's continue. So we've got ice cream, farmers market, and baked goods left. So let's make the farmers market. And oh, I got all that in one hold. Okay, so that's gonna go here. And we're gonna put cabbage, cauliflower, radishes. Whoops, dropped that. Carrots. More radishes. Corn. And corn. And a carrot. Okay, and that's our little farmer's market. And now I'm going to set up that's also self-serve. I'm also going to set up the ice cream now. So we've got this little thing from the ice cream shop and tons of ice cream. I've actually got more ice cream. This is the old version of Sylvanian ice cream. There's a new one and it's way bigger. Okay, so over here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put that there. And then the ice cream scooper, that's gonna go in there. And most of this stuff is going to be in cones, but also there's gonna be an option of cup. So I usually get cup because we live in Cambodia and stuff melts in really quickly. So I've got that in a cup. Focus. That's 3. Mind me. That's 3 scoops. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of that glass bowl. And then I've got this ice cream, but I'm not even sure if it's Sylvanian, so I'm just gonna eliminate that. And maybe the person that gives you the ice cream should be this hedgehog. His name is Bon, and he's got a sister, and I named her Jody. If you know who Bon Jovi is, do you get my vibe? Okay, so now I didn't have enough room on my tray to put the baking stuff on, so I just put it in a grocery market. So I've got this really nice table that's gonna go in the middle, and that's gonna be for the baked goods. And I've got this lace thing that I'm gonna put on the table because this is gonna look really elegant. And I've got that tiered thing that I'm gonna put in the middle. And then I've also got a basket that I'm gonna put churros in. So churros are from Spain, and they're basically like a sweet French fry that are really big and really good. You eat them with chocolate, and I've got them there. So I'll put them there. And I've got lots of baked goods. So I'm gonna set up some plates, and then I'll put all of the baked goods on them. Okay, so lots of these baked goods are from different setups. Like most of this stuff is from the high tea set, but also some of it's from the breakfast set. I don't even know where the churros came from. That's how old it is. And some of it came from the ice cream shop. So if you remember the coffee cakes earlier, I'm gonna put them there. So there's a penguin, and then there's one more that I'm putting here. That is a 4-leaf clover. Okay, so those will look nice. And then I've got some donuts that I'll put on this plate. And I'll also put a house cookie on. I think I've got room for a lolly. These are so tiny that the camera can't even get it in focus. So I'll put that on that plate as well. So I've got this flan. I've been wondering for years if it was a flan, if it was a pudding, or if it was like creme brulee. So I've got this milk thing that they can put in their coffees or teas. And then I've also got these little droplets of stuff that I don't know what it is, but we can still put them on there so they can be like little puddings. Oh my gosh, they're so tiny I can't even get them to stand up. Oh no! Okay. Okay, I've got that now. Let's try one more time. Yeah! Okay, so I've got some cupcakes that I'm also put on there. And I've got this. It could be literally anything. It doesn't even have a label. It probably does because it's got like some sticker marks on it. But I'm going to use it as sugar. So put that there. And there's some tiny chocolates. See? There we go. Okay, so there's a love heart and a star. So I'll put those on plates. And then I'll also put a lolly on that plate. And an acorn cookie. So cute. Okay. And on the bottom tier of this, I'm going to put some eclairs. Oh my gosh, so cute. That one is strawberry. And this one is chocolate. Whoops. What's with me and dropping this stuff, man? Okay. And then I've also got a bear cupcakes, just like that bunny one that you saw. But it's a bear. Then more chocolates, so I'll put that on the bottom tier. Or if I got cauliflower here, I can put that in there. And then I've got another blackberry or blueberry. It's the color of blueberry, but it's the texture of what is it called? What is it called? Of blackberries. So, I don't know. I've got some chocolate covered bananas. This is so cute. So I'll just sprinkle them all over the place. Maybe put one in there. And then I've also got a 4-leaf clover cookie that I'll put on there. A flour cookie that I will put on there. And then I've also got 2 more lollies and a banana. So I'll put that in there and then I'll sprinkle the lollies as well. So before we put the people in, it's time for our other little breaks. So I have got lots of random things that I own. So this random thing that I own, I'm just gonna move that out of the way, is actually a book lamp. So this is what it looks like. It's got a magnet here, so I could put it on the fridge if I wanted, and it's got a clip. So you clip it onto the book, and then you open this flap, and then you press that, so it's got a light. So there's light, there's brighter, that one looks like it. And then there's a party mode. So on it, it actually says our verse for today, which is, with God all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. So that's the weird thing or random thing that I own, and scripture. So without further ado, people usually say that at the beginning of the videos, but we're gonna do it for putting the people in. So there's a mama koala with her baby koala. So cute. Oh, that's so cute. Okay. So koalas are my favorite animal, if you couldn't tell. And then I've also got a grandma who's going to be looking at the pancakes. And I need to adjust her legs so that she stands up and doesn't fall over. And then I've also got the grandpa who's going to be looking at the pizza. Okay. And with that, friends, I think we're done. So here's the close-up of the setup of the food fair. Well, I hope you had a fun time watching me do this. And I hope you have a great day. God bless you all. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.